Okay, hey guys, welcome to my PI video. I wanted to do this and cover some things that I did not see other videos covering. A lot of videos show you what to do and what to click, but don't really explain why you're doing it. And it makes it really nerve-wracking to get into PI. It makes it seem really intimidating. So I wanted to cover that. And then I wanted to go over how to do PI setups when you're not level 5. Most of the videos I've seen, people have been at least level 4 and level 5, and it kind of makes this rumor go around that you can't do PI unless you get everything optimized. And so I want to show you it's like just not true. And so we'll actually do a PI setup for Command 1, Command 2, Command 3, Command 4, and Command 5 finally. So yeah, let's get started. I've already found a planet I'm going to use, and let's talk about that process. Okay, so to start PI, you want to get a good plan. And to do that, easiest thing is to use a website. The one I like here is called evehelper.tk. And the reason I like it is because it's all visual with the icons from the game. And I'm a very visual person, so this works very well for me. There are other websites you can use, though don't feel like you have to use this one. Alright, so how are we going to plan our PI using this? Let's first talk about it so you understand it. All the way here on the left we have raw materials. This is everything that comes out of the ground on the planet. So if if we were doing PI on Earth, this might be stuff like gold, silver, diamonds, copper, coal, you name it. Everything that we dig out of the ground or harvest out of the air, whatever it might be, how we get it. I don't know, how do you harvest helium gas? Okay, so you take this stuff in on your planet and you use what's called a P1 factory to process it into something better. So think of it like you're, like I said, mining gold and diamonds. You get a lot of other junk with it and you got to sort it out and purify it. So this is kind of what the P1 factory does. It takes your dirt and sifts through it and gets you your gold and diamonds. That's P1 production. So from P1, you go into P2 production. Now this is where you really want to focus, and this is what PI is all about, is starting right here. So sticking with the Earth analogy, this would kind of be like taking your gold and taking your diamond and turning it into a ring. You got a finished product you can do something with. So you'll notice that all of these products here use two components. And that's why I said you take your gold and you take your diamond. Or in the case of Eve, whatever two materials you've been gathering. You'll notice as I'm going through these that on this particular website it's lighting up different planets down here. And that's part of the planning. So what I'm doing is I'm looking, and something like BioCell here, it takes biofuels, it takes precious metals, which are made from noble metals and carbon compounds. And looking down at the bottom, I can see that the barren planet is lit up orange. So that tells me that a barren planet has both of these materials on it, and you could make it on that planet. So that's really good. That's what you want to be doing with your PI. Getting materials out, turning them into P1 on a planet, turning both of those into a P2. That's a good plan, and you'll make ISK. You won't lose money unless you do something terribly wrong. Further down the line, you get into your P3 materials. These start to require multiples of these. Some of these can be made in a P2 factory. I think a few of them have to be made in an advanced factory or P3 factory. Even further down is this stuff, which requires a lot of junk. And these do have to be made in a P3 factory. This is for advanced industry. Don't worry about this stuff right now. Focus on your refined commodities. That's really the core. Okay, so in our case, I've scoped and planned some stuff out. I believe we have a storm planet, and we're going to make superconductors. And I can see, looking at superconductors, we want plasmoids and water, which are made from aqueous liquids, and suspended plasma. Cool, so we have a plan now. The plan involves a storm planet, and that's what we would want to do next, is find a storm planet in game. I already found one. Let's go look at it and I'll show you how I found it. So we've got our plan. We need to find a planet. Our plan involves a storm planet. So how we find that is we come to our agency, come to the home page, and we'll go to resource harvesting, planetary production. And what we want to do is use our filters here to only search for storm planets. We want to be in high security. If we didn't know where this planet was, we'd want to say, any constellation. Come up here to say any distance, and we would start scanning the skies looking for our storm planet. Like I said, I already found it. I can see here looking at these that they're pretty well on the resources we want. 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 3 and 3. So the one I found here is pretty darn good. It's 3.5 and 4, or almost 4, just short. That's going to be perfect for our uses. You'll be surprised how much we can do with this. Okay, so we have our planet. What do we do now? We need to get our command center down. So what I'm going to do is pull this planet up here like this, and I do have to undock to do this. Inside my cargo hold, I already have a storm command, so let's hurry up and do this so I'm not wasting everyone's time. Sorry, I have a record button in my way stopping me from undocking. What? Yeah, you can't see the record button, but it's here, I promise. There we go, okay. Okay, so a safe way to put down a command center is to be tethered, and you can be tethered to a POS. That stands for player-owned station, or player-owned structure, and that's what we have here. So once I see my tether, I will open the menu, but I want to make sure I'm safe, because I'm not actually tethered yet. Let's get a little bit, there we go, okay. So I just had to go a little bit further away. And I'll just stop my ship here inside the docking ring if I need to dock quickly, and I'm tethered, so I'm safe. But again, I'm in high sec, I don't expect to be jumped. Put my hardener on just in case. I am paranoid. Okay, so view planet. Here's the planet we want. Let's go to our scans and find that sweet, sweet area we were in before. Here it is, because it looks like 2 eyes and a nose. That's a nose. Okay, let's get our command center down. So we go to build, storm command, and we're gonna pop it, we'll go right here. We aren't gonna use it, but maybe you would use it if you only have PI1 and are gonna build that way. And I told you that's what we were gonna do, is look at some setups. So we submit that, we're good there. We now have a new colony established. I can close this, and let's escape out of that, and redock.
Docking request accepted.
Cool, cool, cool. This might get edited. There we go, okay. Moving back up our planetary production, I've set my button out here to the side. If you want to do that, you can come in here and mess with your buttons to find it. Industry, planetary production, and add shortcut. We'll add it over here. Okay. So here we go. Here's our new planet. Nothing on it. Nice and fresh. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is kind of understand our PI. And so let's look at what we have here. Under scan, we can see our different concentrations of stuff. We want these 2 things. Aqueous liquids. Cool. Under build, we can see everything that we can do on the planet now that this is down. And so let's look at those and make sure we understand. Alright, so the first thing we have is our extraction unit, or I call them drill heads a lot of times. You put these down, you interact with them to add more drill heads. Tendrils kind of come out of it. You'll see here in a minute. I can't do it though without submitting it, and we don't want to do this yet. But this gets all of our raw material that you remember from the website. And it's going to be what gets worked into an actual good, like a diamond ring. Only on this planet we're making superconductors. Okay, took me a moment. So that's a drill. Let's cancel it. Next thing that we have on the list is our basic facility, or our P1 facility. These are little orange guys with a simple gear. To use them, we put schematics in, and for this planet, like I said, we would be doing... Oh, sorry, this would make water on some of them, and other ones of them would make the plasmoids, which are going to become our superconductors. Okay. Let's get rid of these. Next one here is the advanced facility, or P2. It has a more complicated gear, a little bit different color, it's more yellow. These take our schematics, and here we go to build better stuff. And we'll get into how you use all these. That's the P2 factories. The two I want to cover that not many people do in their videos is this one here, the storm storage facility. It's a warehouse. It holds material. It can hold 12,000 M3, which can be quite a bit of material or goods. These things are awesome. They're going to save you a lot of headaches. You want to make sure you use them. Yeah. The other thing to look at is a storm launch pad. I can't actually build one right now because I am on PI1. Right here, level 1. And I can't have a storm pad with that. So, now that we know what everything does, let's look at a little bit more detail so we can plan. Alright, we know that we need a drill to bring stuff up. Boom. We know that we want a basic factory. So, what we want to pay attention to is, let's say that we're going for our water, so we'll install that. This needs 3,000 units of liquid, of raw material, to produce this. This produces it every 30 minutes, so that's 6,000 units of raw material an hour to produce water. Write that down, 6,000 units an hour, okay? So that's just on the water. But remember, we're making superconductors, so we also want plasmids. So we're going to need a second one of these. And there we go. Okay, so now we have a drill head. For a little bit of time we would have it bringing up water, and then we'd switch it over to plasmids and have it bring up that, and this one would make water at 6,000 units. Let's load this one with the plasmoid recipe and see where we're at. And boom, also 3,000 units every 30 minutes. So again, 6,000 units an hour, or you could think of it like 10,000 units every, I'm sorry, 1,000 units every 10 minutes. I like 6,000 units an hour. So that's cool, and this is going to produce 20 of these. Every 30 minutes, 20 of them. Really cool. So every hour we're going to get 40 of these. So let's see if we could actually turn them into a better usable product. So we'll put down an advanced factory. This is looking a little messy, but we're going to stick with it. Put down an advanced factory. And yeah, we have the room for it. We still have a little bit of power left. 1,100 units. Not a ton, but it is enough to do something with this planet where we can have... Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So in this factory, we're going to load in the superconductor so we can look at it. So superconductors want 40 units of this water and 40 units of the plasmoids, and that will produce for 1 hour and give us our superconductors. So you can see that these, for their 6,000 units an hour, are going to produce enough of this for this factory to run for 1 hour. So what I'm getting at here is that you need 2 factories producing 2 different materials to support one advanced factory. And that's cool. That will never change. And knowing that, we can plan a lot of stuff. So right now we're looking at a PI-1, or Command 1 planet. I guess if you didn't want to take an extra 3 or 4 hours to train PI-2, this is what you'd do. You'd come out here and set this up. We're missing a component though, because right now, if we were to link all this up, again, I hope you watched a video explaining how to do some of these clicks. That is Alt and click to start drawing a connection. So if we linked all this up, we have a problem. Our drill doesn't have anywhere to set material down. Again, think of this kind of like people working in a factory. The drill is drilling, but there's nowhere to put material. They can load it into the factories, but even once the factories get done, they have nowhere to unload it. So the last thing we would need is a storage facility. And we'll put it here at the end. I don't have enough capacity to actually run all this. So tell you what, different plan is a new bro. Instead of making superconductors right away, we would want to get rid of that. Have a factory. And, you know, this could totally work. This isn't a great looking setup, so let's improve it a little bit. But what we would do in this setup is we would have both of these producing materials, like I said. They would get material from the warehouse and then put their product back in the warehouse. And we'll look at setting that up ultimately here in a second. So this is kind of what a new bro could do with PI, is have a drill pulling on material for 2 factories. It's not bad. So let's look at what we can actually do once we've trained just one level. This is where things start to get interesting, I promise. Okay, so we upgraded, cost us a little bit of money. There we go. I might blur that out. Okay, so let's actually look at setting up a PI installation where you would plan on growing this, right? So we're going to start with a launch pad because we know we want to be able to get our material off the planet. And let's try there a second. That's our plasmoids. That's our water. Yeah, why not? That looks good. Okay. So from our launch pad, we're going to build a storage facility. Erase that. You know, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. We're going to do this. We're going to do what we were trying to do before. So that's 1. That's 2. Right? Oh. Kill that one. And these 2 are going to support one of these. Sorry, we don't want to put that there. We will put this adjacent over here. And maybe you'll see why in a minute. There. And we still need our drill head, which we're going to put here. Okay. So we actually have a ton of bandwidth left, which is really nice. So we can do more with this. Each drill head is going to take a 500 or so power. Right now we have about 3,000 left. So we could say 4 drill heads at 2,000. And so 5, 6. So we'll say that we have 1,400 power left. So let's see what we could do with 1,400 power. First off, we need everything connected. We could look at putting in 2 more storage facilities. I'm sorry, 2 more basic factories. Let's see what we're at. If that takes us over. Remember, we're trying to save enough power for 4 drill heads. Each drill head's 500, so we need 2,000 power. So that's not going to work for us. Okay. Well, maybe we add an advanced facility, right? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we can add an advanced facility. We still have our 2,000 left, even after linking it. That's cool. That's cool. The problem is, though, is that this guy wants his 40 an hour for his superconductors, and this guy would also want 40 an hour for his superconductors, and you're only making you're only making 40 an hour, right? 20 in 30 minutes, and then another 20 in 30 minutes. So, like, yeah, we could put this down, but what do we get? We don't really get anything. So we just, there's no point. We won't do that. So that saves us more bandwidth for drill heads, which can be cool. That can build us a stock of material faster. But then we run into the problem of where do we set that material. And so again, back to our storage facility. Maybe what we could do is something like this. I haven't actually submitted any of these changes, but you know, maybe we run a warehouse here and the drill head off of it. That's not bad. It's not super great though. This will all work and you will make ISK, but as you grow and add more stuff, you might run into problems with being able to route stuff around. Just let me rebuild that real quick, and I'll show you what an ideal setup looks like to start with based on what we just had. So 1 rocket, 1 warehouse. We want 2 basic facilities to start with, and we'll do them like kind of rabbit ears. Why not? Or I don't know what the hell you want to call these balls. Okay, that's cool. Let's do our advanced, because we had 1. And we'll do it up this way. Boom. Okay, and the last thing that we had was drill head. So you're probably wondering, like, why is this set up better? Well, I will show you, because we're going to grow this now. Let me make sure we're in the right place. Okay, it looks like I'm going to be good on aqueous liquids. Looks like I'll be good on these. Okay. So yeah, let's pretend like this is going to be my new bro setup. And we'll submit these changes. Yeah, shoot, why not? Okay, submit. Okay, so, you know, this stuff should be linked. And like I showed you before, we should have schematics loaded. We would route all of this stuff to run, we would have our factory dump everything into our launch pad. Our launch pad holds almost as much material as a warehouse, but not quite as much. It's still awesome though. And everything that you're making from these factories to this factory, it's getting reduced. It's getting smaller in M3. So your raw material gets broken down to a smaller ratio, and then again. So let's, pretend that we get another level, and we want to grow this up more, and start to get into some serious fun PI. Okay. So we're getting to a point where we're starting to have a lot of bandwidth. We went from I think we were at 9,000 before, we're up to 12,000 now. And we should maybe be able to sneak in another series of factories. Get rid of the drill head for a second, and these are inexpensive. Sorry, let me submit the upgrade. Okay. The upgrade's more expensive. These are cheap to build and get rid of, so get rid of it. And we're gonna come, like I said, we're gonna try and do another sequence of factories. So another one of these. Another one of these. Cool. And another one of these. We're following a ratio rule, and maybe I should have made that more clear, but 2 of these factories support 1 of these, so we now have 2 to 1, 2 to 1, or a 4 to 2 ratio on the planet overall. Link this in, and you can see here I still have a ton of bandwidth left. I need to make a drill. They're a little bit expensive. But I still have enough for 4 to 5 drill heads, maybe more, once everything's linked. I can run this just like this. I can have my drill dump 2 different materials into one warehouse, where these 2 factories are making water, these 2 are making plasmoids. They're dumping their stuff back here. These factories would pick it up, spit out the superconductors, and drop them here. That's totally cool routing. And this is a totally great setup. I'm at 9,000. See, I could have up to like 6 drill heads essentially. That should be enough to support this planet. Let's look at growing a little bit more though, and what our next level would be. So we're at PI3. Let's get up to, I'm sorry, now we're, gosh, that was only 2 before. So even with 2, we were already looking at a really strong setup. So let's go up to PI3 here. Upgrade that. And again, it's pretty much going to look like what we already built before. Only maybe what we do on this one, because we have so much more bandwidth, we're up to 15,000 now. Maybe we get a second storage facility. And this is how I'm ultimately going to be running this planet. But, you know, I won't cheat. We'll pretend like I'm trying to optimize for the best results. So again, we'll say that we're going to do our 2 to 1. Again, we have a little bit more bandwidth to play with. Let's get the drill for a moment. We would rebuild it later. Cool. And maybe what we could even do is 2 more. I feel like this would be a lot to be running off of one warehouse for how much material is going to be coming in and out. But this would give us a 3rd advanced. And this is honestly about as high as I like to run planets. Even in lower security where you have higher concentration of materials, you'll see why you just can't do too much more than like something like this. So here's my one drill head, and I need to get everything linked to get an accurate reading of how much bandwidth we have left. 12,000 of 15,000 because so I shouldn't round up that much. I'm sorry, I'm tired, guys. It looks like we could do 6, 7 drill heads. This would be awesome. We can totally run this planet like this. We could make it a little bit easier on ourselves and do a second storage facility, so that way we can really build up a lot of material. Because if we look at this, okay, so we're going to have 3 basic factories making water, 3 other basic factories making plasmids. Each one of these is 6,000 an hour. So here's 6,000 material of water that's needed. Here's 12,000. Here's 18,000 material of water that's needed every hour to keep these factories wet. And so how we would check that is we would come here, and when we go to set our drill, we would look at how much material we're actually getting per hour. It'll tell us that information. Okay, so that's cool. We can totally plan and try to get our 18,000 an hour. But because we only have one drill head, we need to get 18,000 an hour for this hour. But we also need 18,000 an hour of the other material. Or in other words, we need to get twice the amount of material per hour of whatever we're making if we only have one drill head. Because it needs to be able to cover this hour and the other hour. And so you'd be rotating it every other day. And as long as you're getting twice as much material as what you need, you can rotate it, every 12 hours or every 24 hours. If you go for shorter spells, sometimes you can get more material per hour than if you go for like a 24-hour or 2-day drilling spree. You might notice that your average drops a little bit. Maybe at like an hour's worth of drilling or 6 hours worth of drilling, you can maintain 18,000 an hour, 20,000 an hour. It wouldn't be unheard of. 36,000 an hour you could do. But when you take that up to like 2 days, you might see that drops down to like 17,000 an hour, and suddenly you're not getting enough material per hour to keep your factories going. But yeah, why not? You could totally try this as a new bro. In this setting, this build is actually awesome. You have 6 frickin' basic factories feeding into this, and I just realized how bad I made this. Do not do this, guys. This third one up here, totally a problem. He would have trouble communicating with stuff, and so where you actually want to build that one is somewhere like this. So it looks like that. So all your basics are coming off of warehouses, all of your advances are coming off of your launch pad. Yeah, I mean, that's totally cool for what? Probably, 30 minutes of training for P1, probably 2 or 3 hours for P2, and what is it then, maybe 8, 12 hours for P3? Like, this started from a little basic one, remember? Where we only had something like let's keep going because we were real basic before. As soon as we were at our command 2, this is what stuff looked like. This is what we had, except with the drill, right? So yeah, it's cool how we can like totally grow this basic setup up. And the reason I keep doing this setup has to do with routing materials. Let's keep going with everything though. And I'll show you. With PI4 we actually get to a very interesting area. So go here to upgrade. Okay, and submit that. Getting more costly, but it's worth it. Okay, so with PI4 we can actually start to grow into something more substantial. The first thing we want to do is put down another warehouse. And we were up to, sorry, let's delete that, back up 1 second. So what we were up to before was boom, 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 boom. I'm just spacing these out, visual representation, right? So this is what we were up to before. Pretend it was cleaner than this, right? And we had a drill. So the thing that we can do when we hit PI 4, upgrade 4, is we can decide, maybe we bring another warehouse on so we can stockpile material and not have to babysit this so much. And there is something to be said about not having to babysit your PI. So maybe we just add another warehouse over here on the other side. Maybe what we do though that's even better if we have the bandwidth is add a warehouse and a drill. And we do, but we run into a problem. We don't have enough for drill heads. Let's try taking that guy out. Still don't really have enough for drill heads. We have 15,200 used of our 1,700. That'll leave us enough for 3 drill heads. It's not really enough, I can tell you from experience, to keep all this going. So instead of 2 drills, what I recommend, like I was saying before, is another storage facility. And this is cool. It totally frees up your life and makes things easier. And what you would want to do for this setup now is keep all of your water in one warehouse, keep all of your plasmoids or your second material in the other warehouse, and then even go so far as to change how your factories are arranged, because this all comes down to routing. Oops, I built one too many, guys. Okay. So here's this factory supporting this factory supporting this factory supporting this. But we need to follow our 2-to-1 ratio, so we need our other 3 factories back here. And they were like this. Right? A little bit ugly, but it's what it is. We could link our drill up. And thinking about it now, since I did overbuild those factories, maybe I still have room for another drill. We'll try it one more time. We're doing a little bit better. We have essentially like 2,000 bandwidth left. That's 2 drill heads on one drill and 2 drill heads on another drill. They would both be trying to get 9,000 material. I'm sorry, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, it's because this one should be over here. Okay, that's correct now. Didn't really change anything. So yeah, this needs its 6,000, 12,000, 18,000 material. This drill head's never going to get that 18,000 material an hour to keep this going, right? Because it needs its 3,000 for the first half hour, 3,000 for the next half hour. Okay. So yeah, I think how we would run this as a command 4 is, this is an absolute butt ton of factories. Like, this is awesome. 1 drill head, 3 advanced factories, 6 basic factories, 2 warehouses to store material in, our launch pad to launch it, and every 12 hours or 24 hours or however often you want to do it, this guy switches materials and maybe even switches places. So that is fantastic, and again, that grew off of our basic. So let's look at our last one here, and this is hopefully the one that I'll keep and actually start building with. Okay. Submit that. I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try a 4 basic factories, an 8 to 4 ratio. 8 basic factories to 4 advanced factories. So we're going to try and make things look a little organized. I know, you guys have seen me do this already. And okay. You know, I can totally build a cool shape here if I want. Okay. So these are supported, but they're not, they don't have the other half of their combination, so I need those. So this would be for our plasmids, we'll say. Okay, that's cool. It's not my favorite looking setup, but it's the one that's getting the job done. And yeah, because that points up to where that is. Like I said, we're going to try adding one more advanced. I've only kind of tried this before. It was challenging, but we'll see what we're left with. So I'm linking everything up. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's keep that. It's late. I'm tired. This is my 3rd or 4th time trying to record this. This is totally cool. We need to build an extractor head. I should have done that before I submitted all that and potentially waste ISK, but I think we're gonna work this out. Okay, how much bandwidth do we have left? 5,500. This might work. Let's find out. It was telling me I can't extract until I actually build the drill head, and this is the first time we've actually built it. So let's get these installed. It's a lot of drill heads. Okay. So what I need now is 6,000, 12,000, 18,000, 24,000. I need 24,000 material an hour. I only have one drill head though, so I actually need 48,000 material an hour. So let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can get 48,000 material an hour. And if I can't, we'll tear some stuff down and live with the knowledge that we've wasted some ISK. Here is 52, 59, 52.9, 52.96. 297. Okay, let's try that. It's telling me that I'm actually going to get more than 48,000 an hour. My average per hour is only 42,000. It always comes down a little bit. Some materials are better than others. This cycle is only for an hour. So I can already tell by looking at this that the planet will not quite support a 8 to 4 ratio of these things. Maybe it's because it doesn't have more than 4 material. Maybe that's literally telling me that like this will support 3 basic factories. I'm just now putting this together that might actually be where these dots line up to something. So it could support like 1 basic factory making iconic solution. So let's scale this back a little bit and do something else to make use of the planet to be optimized. So we know that we don't have enough to support this 8 to 4 ratio, so let's go back to a 6 to 3 ratio. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. Okay. So now what I can do is I can put in more drill heads. And that's, sorry, not even sure what, there, it's a little bit of wonky UI. So that's awesome. I don't need my 4800 again, but I am back to needing 6,000, 12,000, 18,000, times 2 is 32,000 an hour, so this could totally work, and I got more drill heads. I'm getting up to like 56,000, 65,000. So this could work. One drill head, it rotates around. I still have a little bit of bandwidth left. I'm kind of getting way more material than I need an hour. So maybe what I do is turn off half of these. And what I said I need 18,000. I'm getting 21,000. Let's see if I can get any higher. 22,000. 22,000. Almost 23,000. Let's see if this will stay above 18,000 an hour. Average per hour. Wow, hold on. Something happened here. We want to run this longer. We don't want to do it every hour. Let's try and set up for a 24-hour cycle. And see right here. So you can see now that it is dropped me under the 18,000 an hour that I want. And so the thought I was thinking was maybe I could build a second drill and be getting enough stuff. Let's see about how much of this I can get. And this will inform me whether or not this planet is going to support this 6 basic to 3 advanced. So my average is 29,000. I said I need 18,000 an hour, 6, 12, 18. Times 2 is actually 34,000. Because again, one drill head, I need to bring up twice as much material. So, 36,000. I need 36,000 an hour to make this planet actually function with one drill like this, and support all these factories. So chances are I can't. It won't happen. I can't break the math here. This is enough to keep it itself going, but it'll never get enough material to have these 3 and these 3 going full time. That's a problem. We want to be optimized. I can try coming back to like 12-hour cycles, so that's pretty much me saying I'll come back every 12 hours and reset this. And I do get up over the 36,000. Average an hour 42,000. So maybe I do that. I can bring it back more. I want to get this planet going. And so maybe what I do is for an hour I run this like this. I get plenty of material. And then I'll come back and I'll run my plasmids. So yeah, let's set this up so I can start routing, and I'll show you that. Okay, so this is going now. And I'll submit that so it's actually going. So you can see it's red and unhappy. Okay, you can see it's red and unhappy. And what that's telling me is that the material's not routed. So all the stuff this drill is bringing in, it needs to set down somewhere. Again, think of this like guys down on the ground working. They can't just chuck it into the factory. I don't know. There's a whole union about this stuff. So they gotta carry it to a warehouse and set it down. So we'll create a route that comes here, create that, and submit. Planet got dark for a second. Okay, so this is coming and setting here, and I can actually look at these orange lines when I have this highlighted. See, this one has none. This one has no orange lines. no orange lines, but when I highlight this one, I see that it's coming here. I can also look at the routes and see that it has outgoing, and I can see that this has incoming. So from here, we need the water. That's not here yet, but we need this water to get, this aqueous liquid to get turned into water. So we're going to install the schematics for water on these 3 factories on this side, because that's where our liquid's going. So I hit install, and now it's telling me to create a route. I'll create it there, and hit submit. Cool. So I'll do that again. Come here, hit schematics, find the one you want, mine's water, install it, and it's asking me to route it. Maybe I click away and forget though, and I hit submit. And what do I do now? I come here, I select on products, the water, and I create a route to here where I said. Submit. One more time on this one. So schematics, if it doesn't open, water, install, create a route, submit. So this is all routed now. This is cool. You're probably wondering why they're blinking still. That's because nothing is routed into them. So now that they know what they're making, now we can give them material. So we'll come here, but I don't actually have anything. So instead I'll come here to routes. And again, I can see the incoming. So I'll create a route. Boom. And we'll do that again. Come here. Incoming. Create a route. Boom. Create it. And I'm still highlighted here, so I can select it. And I'm seeing all the routes now. So these are where 3,000 units are outgoing. One to one factory, one to another factory. You can see the orange lines highlighting as I do this. So I find the incoming, I create a route to this factory, create that, submit. Very cool. What is this one angry about? Let's look at it and find out. Its water's not routed. So again, we'll go to its products, because water is what it's making. Select it, create a route, and it comes here. Cool. So you might be asking yourself, why is this stuff routing here? Why don't I send the water here? Good questions, and the reason being is that overflow. If this were to get full, whatever it can't handle anymore, it throws in the dirt and you lose it. It takes a long time for stuff to get full, but I always like to plan for disaster. So these factories here are going to dump into the launch pad, and that's what I want. I want my most valuable material, which is going to be my semiconductors, superconductors. I want to make sure that they have the safest place to go. I don't want water and plasmids ending up on the launch pad and then something happening and things getting backed up, which they should not, because we have everything in balance. But just in case, what could happen is that material ends up here, and before the factory can get it in, it gets one done and tries to send its superconductor to the launch pad, but it can't because it's full, and then it drops that in the sand. Same thing with why this stuff is routing its water to here instead of just routing water into the warehouse. I don't want a situation where the warehouse is not ready to take the water, and so it backs up and just drops it in the sand. Because right now, these are producing the perfect amount of water to keep these going. So if I lose any water, then I'm losing time and efficiency. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of the setups for growing from a PI1 to a PI5. Sorry if that was super weird way to do it, with me kind of resetting everything. but it makes it super easy on my wallet. I'll come back here in an hour and actually reset the drill to get the plasmids, so that way these factories can start producing. We'll have to change the routing, and maybe I'll capture that so you guys can see too. What I can do right now though is kind of set that up. Schematics, plasmoids, install, route it, create route, submit. Plasmoids, install, create route, submit. Plasmoids, install, create route, submit. So, those are all cool already. I can do the same thing with the superconductors. They're installed here. I'll route them, create route. They'll come here. Submit. Superconductors install, route to here. Submit. You can do all these routes without submitting in between. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Oops, I forgot to make that one, so come back here to the products, create route, boom, submit. Cool. So yeah, that's all very cool. This is a good looking setup. I don't have that much bandwidth left because I have so many drill heads running. What I might do though, once they've kind of gotten a lot of material built up, maybe I'll take some of these drill heads away and then build a second drill, and maybe run 2 drills, which is easier because I no longer need like 36,000 material an hour. I only need 18,000 from one drill head and then 18,000 from the other drill head, and it's very easy to just run and operate that every day. I have one here that does that, and literally every 24 hours I come here and I pretty much hit this and hit 24 hours go, because these are getting so much material. You can see there's a ton of material on this gas planet. It's for security. It does open up some options. These synthetic oils would be difficult to make otherwise, but these synthetic oils are going to sell for about the same cost as these superconductors. Given the right day of the week, the superconductors will go for more, just because that market will be up and there will be a little bit too much of that other stuff in the market. So in the end, it really doesn't matter low sec, high sec, as long as you can get an optimized build going like this. You find a niche product in high sec like superconductors, they happen to be something that you can make, and you go for it, and you make good money. You don't have to be in low sec, and you don't have to be optimized. I did it with Command Center 4 for ages. It worked out great, and I made a ton of ISK. Not like an absolute ton, but like, hey, 100 million ISK a month or so from passive income is not nothing. Each planet takes somewhere between 5 and 6 million to set up. So 5 to 6 million set up, and in 4 or 5 days you have that back, and the rest of the month you're just printing money. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope this helps. Thanks. Bye.